Today we need to get into the unfortunate rumors that Jung Kook has been removed from radio and why that happened, and then we need to get into rumors from a stalker claiming that Jung Kook cheated on his blonde girlfriend, and we also need to talk about HYBE sort of distancing their connection with Scooter Braun and how they're doing that. Say Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hate it or not, make sure to subscribe with the notification bell on. Make sure you join us fangirling on Patreon, and let's go. So there's recently been an article that has come out where Scooter Braun was recently seen in Israel giving a speech. And this caused a lot of backlash because people were already very upset that he was a part of that specific community or that specific religion. And they had a lot of opinions about that. So when he decided to go back to support his homeland and to support his own people, it was not taken very well. Now, of course, people have very controversial opinions on whether he should be a part of that community and he should support his own people, but that is another story of another time. And I've talked at length many times on this channel about what my opinions are, asking people to stop attacking someone just for supporting their own religion, and that a religious belief does not mean genocide. I won't get into this specific speech too much that Scooter Braun made, but you can definitely watch it. You can just write Scooter Braun's speech in Tel Aviv. But if you're curious, do it after this video because I will talk about it. The speech is about 3 minutes long. He talks a little bit about how he wants a lot of hostages to come home and a lot of his own opinions on the situation, which are opinions of him just wanting peace. There is nothing in that speech that says that he wants people to die or any specific type of people to die. Nothing like that at all. It's rumored that he does address the controversy a little bit by saying that people all over the world are getting bombarded with various different pieces of information, and none of that really matters. He only wants the hostages to come home right now, and then after that basically he can talk about what to do next. But a lot of people believe this is the first time he's ever addressed the controversy publicly, basically saying that there's a lot of misinformation out there and people don't really know the full truth. And at this point the full truth doesn't really even matter, because no matter what he says, which he has said numerous times that he wants peace, people take that as either lying or him either gaslighting people. And so it doesn't matter what he says at this point and whether he's actually talking from the heart. People are just going to take whatever he says with bad intentions. Of course, I'm sure he has a PR team, and of course any PR team will tell you that when you reach a certain point of a controversy where everything that you say is going to be misconstrued as bad, to just not say anything, because at least with silence it can't really get worse. But I think a lot of PR companies also don't know that when it's K-pop fans and that sort of thing, silence can actually be interpreted into 50 other things. I've seen a literal person just be quiet and the rumor had twisted into them touching kids. But anyway, I digress. It was interesting because since a lot of people want Scooter Braun to leave, they're waiting to see what HYBE will say and if HYBE themselves will respond. And if they will, then eventually drop Scooter Braun as the CEO. And since Scooter Braun is directly going over there to Tel Aviv, it's almost like he's jumping into the fire, right? It's going to open him up to controversy just for being there. It's interesting because people believe that HYBE was distancing themselves from Scooter Braun by basically saying that the speech that Scooter Braun gave was a personal affair and has nothing to do with the company's management. This was their way of saying that regardless of whatever Scooter Braun's personal opinions and religious beliefs and all those things are, it has nothing to do with how the company is being managed, and thus they're trying to separate the personal with the professional. I don't think that this necessarily means that the label is going to drop Scooter Braun. I think it means that they agree that the backlash is quite groundless, because they're trying to say that everything that he is being accused of, even if correct, is still personal. These things have nothing to do with his professional career. Also, Scooter Braun is not a public figure, so him having a more controversial personal life does not affect his professional life, because he's not trying to sell something to the public. And please, regardless of what your opinions are on the company, please don't protest the artists in the label, because it puts it in a really weird position when the artists themselves are working so hard, but then they're noticing a dip in sales and they don't know why, because it's nothing that they can fix. Some of the protests have gone a bit too far, and I really do think that it's gone way too far when Jungkook's professional career is getting attacked and it's supposed to be people who support the BTS members. That is when you just have to draw a line and say, that is enough. So there are rumors going around about what happened recently with Jung Kook's song on the radio. And I can't exactly prove whether all this is actually true or not, but there have been some bigger accounts that have talked about it. And there have been a lot of people who have been very upset about it. I personally don't listen to the radio, so I can't tell you when a specific song is not getting as much airtime or spin as it used to, but I assume that there's going to be a lot of people trying to make up this stuff. So what happened and what is going on? Apparently, it was announced that Jung Kook was taken off of a major radio station, and we don't know which station it was, and his song had completely just stopped getting spin. And the reason why they believed that Jung Kook's song was taken off was because there were a lot of people mass tagging the radio station and saying that they want Jung Kook's song off, probably for a couple of reasons. There's just a lot of controversy lately with Jung Kook, and it's odd to even say that because he's not even active right now. And then one of the controversies was the fact that he had worked with a person like Scooter Braun for his album. Now, I believe there is a way to check if a song is getting as much spin as it used to, but it's quite natural, I think, for a song to just fall off after a few months, and I think it's been a month or two, or even longer since Jung Kook has been enlisted. So it makes sense that without promotion and without much else going on, that the song would eventually kind of fall off. Now, how radio spin kind of works is that people who are critics can kind of vote whether they like a song or not. And eventually, if a song gets kind of overplayed or played too much, you'll start to see people vote to hear less of it. And this is why radio is such a good indicator for success for a lot of people, or at least people in the industry, is because it's based off of not just the fans, but based off the general public. So people who are in the car listening while they go to work, they can just be like, okay, I've heard this song way too much, I don't want to hear it again, and they can kind of vote to get it off. Now, I don't know the specifics of what is a good ratio, right? Like 80% of people say it's a good song. Does it stay or whatever it is? I have no idea. Bottom line is, I do think it's quite natural for songs to eventually fade off the charts. It happens to everyone. I think it's more easier to believe that as the outside fans and haters have control over whether a song stays in the public or not, because those are things that we can control, when in reality, a lot of times when something fades, either that be fame and success of a song, algorithm change, whatever it is, it's out of our control. And success is in some degree out of our control. So it's harder to wrap your head around that, and it's easier to think it's because there was mass people tagging of a radio station telling them to rid Jung Kook, and that's why his song was being taken off. But that's usually not the case, and we don't have control over how long a song remains successful, because eventually it goes into the general public, and if they like it, it keeps going. But even if it keeps going, it doesn't go for like ever. It usually will die, and that's okay. I can imagine crazy rumors are also the cause of some controversy with Jung Kook. There's been some people trying to make it out that Jung Kook is this player or this person that cheats on his lover, and I'm not quite understanding why this is a huge scandal. Is it awful to cheat on your lover? Absolutely. I have no sympathy for cheaters or unfaithful people. However, is it a personal thing and not really a general public scandal? Yes. Whether he decides to cheat or not cheat in a relationship, that is his decision, and we as the public can't really give our opinion. I don't even feel like I can give my opinion when I know of someone that has cheated. Like, I don't think I even have the right to tell them that what they're doing is not right, because they know that. They don't need to hear it from me, but they did it anyway. But this rumor is absolutely crazy because they took moments from when Jung Kook went to Qatar and shared a photo of his Instagram story back when he had an Instagram. And in the photo, in the background, you can see what kind of looks like a pool. And people connected that with a random post of a blonde girl who posted a picture of her story of a pool to say that they were both in the same hotel together. And if you remember the original rumor, it was that Jung Kook and this blonde girl met in Qatar. People then also connected a moment in which also had been disproven since then, where it was seemingly Jung Kook in his apartment and someone was peeking through the window and it appeared like Jung Kook was back hugging a girl and was like fooling around with the girl and was shirtless, and it clearly wasn't a blonde girl. Some people were saying that Jung Kook was cheating on the blonde girl and that the blonde girl's post of her by the pool in Qatar was proof of that. What is crazy to me is that Jung Kook and this blonde girl were never proven to be in a relationship together. There are no pictures of them kissing. There's no pictures of them in a relationship together. So the fact that they could even be in a hotel room together could mean several things. The blonde girl was believed to be a jewelry store owner, so maybe Jung Kook had wanted a piece of jewelry custom made for whatever reason. Another reason is that this blonde girl could have just happened to have been in the same hotel room as Jung Kook, like not together, but just that she rented out a room the next day or whatever it was, and it happened to be the exact same room. And we also disproved that video with him shirtless hugging a girl. That was not Jung Kook, and he likely doesn't live on the first floor. Would it be easy for someone to just look in through his window? So that makes no sense. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.